My name's Chase Griffiths. This is my Turbo LS Miata that we call the Hood Pope, and this is High Street. Quick got shit.
Alright, man, so give us a little rundown of just of yourself, where you grew up and where you live currently.
I'm from Las Cruces, New Mexico. That's where I still live. I come from, my dad was in the lowriders. I was never really into race cars until I was in middle school. Then my brother-in-law, he got a first-gen CTSV, and that's kind of what got me into racing and working on cars.
Okay, so you worked on the CTSV with your brother-in-law?
Yeah. He when he bought it, it was already cammed, had ported heads and shit, headers, and I had drag radials on it. And he took me to the street races one night, and then I just was hooked. I thought it was the coolest shit ever. And then we ended up racing. He raced the car more, and then we ended up breaking it. We put on nitrous, and learned some nitrous stuff. We ended up floating all the valves. It had stock LS6 valve springs in it in this cam. We don't know who built the car, but once we tore it apart, we kind of knew more about it. And then we took it to the local shop that we found. His name is Nick Ray, and he would do bolt-on parts, and he'd also do some fab work. And that's how I kind of got into the fab work too. Was seeing what he was doing with the building turbo kits and stuff. He was more of a road racer than a drag racer, but that's what kind of got me into working on stuff. And
how old were you at the time?
Look, I was like a freshman in high school when I got there, and that's where I met all of the friends I have now. They're all older than me. They're all way older. Richard, I don't know, you might know Richard from Albuquerque. He has a vet. It's I grew up around all these LS guys. They're all cammed and shit. And I didn't have no money, so I was about to start driving pretty soon. So I just started saving money and looking for an LS motor. I'm gonna have to build something to be anywhere close to these guys. I can't afford to buy a $15,000 car. I was in high school. So I just I saved all my money, dude, for 6-7 months, and I found an LS. I think it's LQ4 for sale, and I went and bought it, and just took it apart and started slowly building it. And that's what first went into the car. I used to have an S10. I used to have that was my first truck. My first vehicle was a 95 S10, and it was lowered and stuff, but just a V6 in it, and I planned on swapping it. But I never my dad would never let me take it apart, dude. I wasn't wanting to fucking pull the motor out. He's like, "What are you gonna drive? You take it apart." So I was like, "Fucking, I'll." At that shop I was talking about, that dude Nick Ray. There was a guy that would always go there. His name was Ari, and he had a turbo Miata. He had an NB Miata, a 2000s, and it was on the wheels and stuff. He road raced it. It was a badass car. It made it probably made 380, 400 wheel. It was pretty, for a Miata. It was fucking, for a 4-cylinder, it was fast. And that's what got me into liking Miatas. And I saved up my money. I think beginning of my senior year of high school, I bought this thing. I had $1,200 saved. I found this one for sale for $2,200, and like it was bone stock, like it was clean, like the interior was nice as fuck. It was clean. And when I looked at it, I guess some girl, and like she had the car for years, like, and that's what she drove. She used to drive it back and forth from Cali. Her parents were from Cali, and like they took real good care of the car. Like she had like all like the maintenance records and shit. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna turn it into a race car. Like I offered 1,800, and she's like, no, it's too low. And like we got in the truck, we're gonna leave, and I was like, hey Dad, can I borrow some money? I'll sell that it had a hardtop on it.
Oh,
it had the hardtop.
To get some.
Yeah, I was like, I'll sell the hardtop this week and I'll pay you back. So he's like, all right, fine. So we went back and bought it right there. And I couldn't even drive stick back then. And like I had my homie with me, Joseph, and like, he drove it back to the house. And then like that weekend I started gutting it and just taking it apart.
Got right to it.
Yeah.
Wait, so you said the car was in Cali?
Yeah. Like she would drive it back and forth, but they were from here. And,
Oh, okay.
and they're getting ready to move, so they're selling it.
So you got right to it and didn't even drive it around or nothing, just started cutting it up?
Yeah. I started just taking it apart. The first roll cage that was in it was all like 1 3/4 mild steel DOM and 120 well DOM, like real heavy shit.
You put that in there?
Yeah. I borrowed the bender. It was like a pipe bender, like the one that bends it right in the middle. I borrowed it from high school, from the fab shop we had in high school. They let me take it home for a couple weeks, and that's when I built the first cage in it.
And you put that LP4 in it?
Yeah, I put that LP4. I actually got the heads off that Cadillac CTSV. My brother-in-law CTSV, we got those heads off of it, and he bought some other heads after we floated the valves, and I got those heads from him. I got a TSP cam. I built the headers. I bought like a weld up fucking Jegs weld it yourself kit. They're pretty shitty, dude. They're the worst set of headers I built. But like I learned from it.
Yeah.
And then like just slowly started changing it. Like I had it running. I had a T56 in it.
Oh, okay.
I had a T56. I had the RX-7 turbo 2 rear end. It's out of like an FD. It bolts right into the Miata subframe. And it runs the RX-7 axles. So like it was like the cheapest thing for me to do.
So you learned to drive stick?
Yeah.
LS fault Miata?
Yeah, I hadn't drove stick a lot. Like I never had a car to fucking drive. Yeah, so I got it running like right after high school. It was after high school I got it running the first time. I put some Hoosiers on it. I bought some CCWs. But Hoosier, I was gonna road race the car, so I had like a road race style cage in it. That's why I had the T56, and then I always wanted to turbo it, but I was like, that's too much money. Like it's gonna be down for too long. Yeah. But all call out was coming up, and I got it ready for all call out. Sean tuned it. I took it to Sean. That's how I met Sean. I took it for him to tune it. Back then it made like 400 and like 550 on nitrous. And then
so was all out call out your first race in it?
Yeah, that was gonna be like the first official race in it, like at a track event.
Okay. Did you race on the street before that?
Very little. Like I'd take it out maybe 1-2 times. Like I barely had the car running for maybe a month before I took it to call out.
Oh, right.
I went a day early to go test in Albuquerque at the track with the Hoosiers on. They're just they're those DOT radials, and the first hit, it fucking the clutch just like it sheared the rivets and the clutch just broke in half.
What the fuck?
I was like, what the fuck? I thought like it shouldn't have broke, but it fucking broke.
Clutch in there?
Yeah, it was a competition clutch. It was like it said it was good to like 650 foot-pounds of torque. Like it's supposed to be a decent clutch.
Yeah.
I didn't think it'd break. The car's not that heavy. It wasn't that heavy back then, but it broke the first time out, dude.
So what'd you do after that?
Well, it wasn't painted back then, so I was like, I'm gonna just take it apart, see what happened, and then I'm gonna take it apart and paint it, or else I'm not gonna take the thing apart. I took it apart, and then I noticed the crank had play in the motor. It took the thrust bearing out, but that was my fault. I had the first time I started it, I had the oil lines hooked up backwards to the oil cooler, like leaving the the thing off the motor. I had them backwards, so it's trying to pump oil backwards through the filter, and it won't do that.
Yeah.
They'll do it for like 20 seconds, and then you lose all oil pressure. So that wiped the thrust bearing out. So I was like, I'm gonna pull the motor apart, and I was like, well, I might as well. I found a turbo for cheap. It was a GT47 88. I think I found it for like $800. I was like, I'm gonna just buy it and I'm gonna just turbo it now. And then I built the motor. It was just forged rod and piston, same heads. I did 1/2-inch head studs, and then I was gonna keep the T56, but then my friend Richard, he auto swapped his vet. And after I rode in that car, cause I was like, I don't think I want an auto. Like that's just probably gonna be boring to drive. But after I rode in his car, like that shit was like, auto's the way to go. That shit don't fuck around.
Yeah.
If you're trying to go fast, you need an auto in your shit.
Yeah.
Stick's fun for like cruising around town, daily driving, some like
Just have fun.
have fun in, yeah. But if you're trying to race on the street, you gotta have a fucking something.
So
in it.
was the car white before, or you changed the color?
Yeah, it was actually white before, yeah. Yeah, it was originally white.
Okay, so you built the 6.0 for it and decided to buy a power glide for it?
Yeah, I decided to put a power glide. My friend's dad had one like laying in the backyard, and my friend Jerry, he had a guy in Albuquerque that would build them, and so I got that case and took it over there, had him build that. So I put the glide in it, and then I put a 488 in the back. It's like the Cobra, just like the center section, like IRS, like the 0203 Cobra deal. So I got that. I got the dry shaft shop 1,000 horsepower axles. I got a badass dry shaft for it. But like that took me. The car was down for like 3-4 years. Like it took a long time to get from when it broke to what it is now.
Okay.
And then I cut out the old cage and built this new one. It's all chromoly. Molly. It's not the fucking that heavy ass shit in it anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
So after it went down, it went directly to basically what it is now.
Yeah. Yeah, like it was like a big change. Like I never drove an auto car before. I never drove anything with a trans brake before.
Yeah.
Like no one around here has that. Like so, like I didn't really know. Like it was just kind of learn as you go thing.
Yeah. Where did you learn most of your stuff?
I learned a lot through Jerry. He had his name is Jerry Porsche. He had a Sunbeam tire. He's had it for years, twin turbo. Like that, he's like an OG street racer guy, and he taught me a lot. He lived here for a while, but now he moved. But I learned a lot of the basics from him, a lot of the turbo stuff. He introduced me to all the Albuquerque guys. Like if it wasn't for him, like I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know a lot of shit where I am today.
Yeah, and you learned how to fab at your other buddy's house.
I actually started welding in freshman year of high school. I took a welding class, and then at the same time I started going under that guy's shop, seeing him do the fab stuff. So he kind of wanted me to do. That's kind of made me want to learn to weld. So I started learning to weld. All high school I took welding classes. I started taking some classes at the local community college at my junior year, like the dual credit thing, for TIG welding. And that's when I started TIG welding, and just kept going with it and finished welding school and just kept doing the fabrication. I learned a lot of the fab shit from this car. Was working on my own stuff, and the first time I built this car, it was pretty fucked up.
Pretty rowdy.
Yeah, it's pretty rowdy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you turned it into a complete different animal.
Yeah, dude, it's came a long way.
And then once you got it finished with this setup, where did things go from there?
Well, once we started racing, then we learned a lot. Like you learn some things don't work like as you thought they'd work, and you got to change some stuff and make the car better. So like since then, it's gotten with the original setup made like 900-ish with that GT47 on it, LS6 heads. Now we put Brodix heads on it, a little bigger turbo from Force Inductions. It's still it's a S400 chassis. But now it made 1100 on 20 pounds. It makes a lot more power now than what it used to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I revalved the shocks multiple times, resprung it. The shock guy helped me a ton with that at Penske Shocks. But just little things, suspension, a lot of suspension work.
What was your first street race after you had it?
Turbo? We actually went to call out. We went to call out to test for call out the week before. I think it was the weekend before call out. We went and tested at the track. But then after that, a GTR wanted to race. Back then, like we turned the car down to run 1020s for that index class. And this GTR wanted to race, so we drove from the track to Pavilion, right there, and raced him on Pavilion. But that was the first street race in the car.
Okay. Did you beat him?
Yeah, I beat him. Yeah, I raced him for $100, beat him. Yeah, Sean's like, I was like, what should I do with the tune-up, Sean? He's like, leave it alone, just don't even turn it up. He's like, it'll go down. He's like, fucking Pavilion's good, and it went down.
Took $100 on it.
Yeah.
And then when did you start going out to cash days?
Oh man, what was the first one? I think I want to say the first one was the Grants race. I want to say that's the first cash days we went to. No, actually it was a local one here. There's a local one here, a local spot at Love's, and it was there's some guys from El Paso that came. There wasn't a tire rule. It was like a run what you brung. It was like a big tire Nova, like 70s Nova, nitrous big block deal. They had a Pro Charge S10 at the time too, and everything else wasn't very serious. But like, though, there were some decent cars there, and I made it to the final, and that big block Nova beat me by a fucking bumper, dude.
Damn.
And I totally forgot I had the scramble button. I had the scramble button.
Shit.
And then after I lost that, I grudge raced that S10. I grudge raced that S10 for $500. And I got him. He knocked the tire off. But I tried the scramble button and it stuck it. I was like, I could have beat him, dude. But it was like I was barely learning the car.
Yeah. How long had it been running with the setup at that time?
Maybe a month. Maybe.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like we would make hits like just on wastegate, like, and just like learning the car. Sean taught me a lot how to tune them on the street. Like before, I would do everything with the boost curve. Like that's all I knew how to do, and it's hard to do it. You can't. It's almost impossible to get it to go down hard with just the boost curve. But yeah, one night on the street, I was grudge racing a Fox body and that BMW, that turbo BMW. Local Will.
Oh, okay.
Local Will. I went to Albuquerque just to race them too. Just to race them too. And that's when Sean taught me the timing curve and kind of how to play with the timing there. And that was like a game changer for the car. Like the car went a lot faster than it ever went. Then and then.
Did you beat those two guys or no?
No, I lost to the Fox body. I lost $1,000 to the Fox body, but I won a 500 from Local Will. Yeah, his shit's fast, dude. Like I barely beat him. Like I barely beat him.
Fast as fuck, dude.
And like we were fucking both like skating down there. It was a badass. It was a badass race.
When was that, you think?
And that was, I want to say 2019, mid 2019. I think it was around there.
Okay.
It was
So
around there.
what is your favorite street racing pattern?
My favorite street race? Dude, my favorite one was we went to a race in Dallas that Alani put on. And it was for like the youngsters. It was for, you're supposed to be like 25 and under, 24 and under. Like he did this to the young guys. But towards the end, like the car count wasn't that great. It was gonna be like 10 to 15 cars. So like he asked them, like, do you want everybody to, like, can we invite anybody? And like, yeah, everyone just agreed to invite whoever wanted to come.
Even if you were older.
Yeah, even if you're older, yeah. Like that was like the baddest street race that I've been to. They have so many spots. Like I've never been anywhere where they have so many spots. Every spot, like a bunch of rubber down, concrete.
Yeah.
You can fly down them fucking. Like I've never been on a street like that before.
That was in Dallas?
Yeah, that was in Dallas. That was in Dallas. Yeah, I didn't know much back then, but we went one round.
Let's go, baby.
And but like, we finished the race with them. Like we ended up changing spots. The sprinklers turned on. We went to another spot. The sprinklers came on. The road got wet. And then the next spot, the cops got there.
Yeah.
And then we went to another spot, and they finally finished it there. Like it was this badass like industrial area. Like hearing the cars echo and shit.
And the cops don't mess with you.
Yeah. once you lose them, you have all these guys in truck and trailer following each other. But that's when the first time I saw Green Monster. Like that car was fucking fast on the street. That was when it was nitrous.
Yeah.
Like that shit was the
Fox body, right?
Yeah, the Fox body. They went to a Virgin Street concrete and ran the final. Like both of them off the trailer, and both of them made a fucking lick down the street. Like fuck.
Who ended up winning that?
I think the guy he raced. He was a young guy. It was one of the youngsters that were in it. I forgot his name, but I think he beat Green Monster. His trans brake fucking wire came off.
Green Monster.
Yeah, Green Monster.
Yeah.
The Green Monster would have got him, but
Yeah.
or his car was fast for sure,
Yeah.
but I think Green Monster would have had it.
So what about your most memorable win?
Well, beating Ryan Mitchell. We got lucky, but it was cool. I mean, the first time I raced him to beat him, I mean, my power shit's slow, dude. He should have beat me, but
That was in Roswell, right?
yeah, it was in Roswell. It was I think the race started at the 8th mile to the back of the track.
Yeah.
It was real slick out there. Yeah, like my shit was turned way down, and I think he had something with the boost controller, and he smoked the tire. And I barely beat him by half a car or something. But like it was just a cool experience. I mean, back then, like I was like, we had maybe been racing for a year.
Yeah.
Back then, if that, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And do you have a loss that's maybe very memorable?
Loss. Yeah, all of them. Dude, I hate losing. Yeah, like the biggest loss was when we went to Olympic Cash Days in that King of the 28s, that West Coast deal. And where was it at?
Kingman.
In Kingman. In Kingman, dude. We made it to the finals, and we lost to the final. Like I let go of the trans brake. Like the car had nothing. Like it did. Like I was like, what the fuck? Like I thought, on the trans brake sometimes, like if I'm on the 2-step real long, I'll like let out and get back in it, just so it doesn't build too much boost. And I thought maybe it left on nothing. Well, I looked at the data log, and like the boost looked fine. Well, the target boost looked fine. The what it made, well, there's no dome pressure. The CO2 bottle ran out. The CO2 bottle fucking was empty.
Yeah.
So like that was I would at least like to give the guy a race and not.
Yeah.
Like it is just and it was for 10 grand. It was like 10. It was like close to 11 grand.
Yeah. Man, I remember that. I was pretty sad that day too, because that would have been a fucking race.
I think it would have been a good race. He would probably got me,
so
but I think it would have been a good
It would
race.
have been really good.
All right, Chase, so you guys drew chips and you're in the final.
Yeah, I got the bye. We're making a bye run to the final. The last hit it wheelied, so we knocked 100 out of the 2-step. Let's pull 50 pounds out. We're gonna pull some weight out of it, and I tighten the front end back up.
Okay, hell yeah. How much weight do you have in there right now total?
250.
Okay. And you're gonna pull 50 out?
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, man, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the final.
Thanks, bro. Hell yeah.
Good night.
Woo!
Favorite spot. I think my local spot. Like,
Yeah.
that's the coolest. Like I've always raced there. It's like it's cool to me. And it's a tricky surface. Like if no one's ever been down it before, it's a tricky surface to get down. It's a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it.
And what's the fastest the car's ever gone? Quarter mile?
It's been 860s, but that's with the slicks. They'll get into the fenders. After 150, it's kind of pissed off. So
Yeah.
I got a little early.
So all you can fit is a 26, right?
Yeah, the car only fits a 26 10.5.
You're banging all
Yeah.
guys on 28s.
Yeah, we're only with the 28 guys. We beat a lot of big tire cars. Like the local like bracket guys.
Yeah. That's cool. So your car went 860 in Albuquerque, which that's extremely high.
Yeah, that's I think that day was like 8600 DA,
Yeah.
8800 DA.
Yep.
That's about what it is.
So have you ever thought of trying to beat the IRS Miata record?
Yeah. I want to put radials on it and like go to one of the track rentals in Dallas or something and in some good air and see how fast it'll go. My buddy Matt in Florida holds a record. He's gone. He beat it like last weekend. He went like 819 on a stock Miata suspension.
Yeah.
That's a record on stock Miata suspension.
Does he have the same like 8.8 like you do?
Yeah, he has an 8.8. He has their little updated axles. He has a version updated from these. But he has we're pretty similar turbo, similar. He has a little bigger turbo now, I think. We're very similar combos.
Yeah.
But he mostly radial races. He's a radial like a track dude. He goes to like the streetcar takeover stuff. But
This is good. What was the best the most like big tire car that you beat? So you said you beat big tire cars. Which one was the one that you said like you were most proud of?
It was the one kind of recent. It was I think last November. These local guys had there's a track here, Real Seco, and it's like 50 foot of concrete, and there's a transition to asphalt, and it's real bumpy. It's like an outlaw, old school outlaw track. But I made to the finals in the big tire class. I entered small tire and big tire. We got to the final in big tire, and it's like a C3 vet, big tire blower deal. He was on Street Outlaws. He's from Tucson. He went to the team racing thing on Street Outlaws. He's on one of the teams, I think. So like this guy's like he's kind of street.
Yeah.
On a big tire, and I thought he was gonna beat me. I let go of the button, dude. We're fucking side by side. He noses me out. I grab scramble and I start motoring around him. I didn't know if I won or not. I didn't know if I won at the finish line was like I got him by literally 6 inches.
Yeah, I watched the video. That was dope.
Like that was a badass race because it's so close. Like that's like the best races.
Yeah. You didn't go to the final on the small tire?
Yeah, I won small tire.
Oh, you won small tire?
Yeah, I won small tire and big tire in that one.
So how often do you show up to cash days, look at the competition, and what do you think? How do you think the car's going to compare with some of these heavy hitters that are in the street?
No, every time we show up, I feel like we're fucked. I mean, everybody's on more tire. Like these guys are like a lot. Some of these guys have a lot of experience. A lot more. I'm always out chassis. It's still IRS. It's still factory Miata suspension under it.
Yeah.
I'm just on coilovers and like the tubular control arms and stuff. But it's all factory suspension. Yeah, so every race I go into, like, I'm just like fucking swinging at it. Like this thing like better perform at its best, or we're not even gonna run with these guys.
You usually go to the finals.
Yeah, somehow we ended up making it to the final. I don't know how we do it, but it
I
happens.
must feel real good to come in, being the underdog with the small tire.
Yeah, like sometimes we get lucky. I mean, sometimes we'll catch a break here and there, but But sometimes we take out big people.
Yeah.
It's just that's the street. The street, you never know what can happen on the street. You can't just throw a bunch of power and they go down. And like some of these guys get greedy and they'll smoke the tire. And if your shit spins on the street and it won't recover, you're fucked. Like the slow guy's gonna beat you every time. The slow guy's gonna get you every time. Like the car's slow, but it's not that slow. Like it's in a weird window where it's not really competitive, but it's not slow either.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it's at.
I know you've been to a bunch of finals. How many races have you won total?
Look, I don't know. We've probably won like 5 or 6 races. But we've been to a lot of finals, man.
Yeah.
It's either we go out first round and make it to the final, or we win it. That's usually what happens. No in between. Dude, I hate going out first round. You know, the first time we went to Cali, we went to Nate's race. We stopped. We traded the car all the way over there. Stopped in LA, made a hit on Bridge Street. Hoosier doesn't make a stiff wall, so like, it was just on the fucking 26-inch Hoosier. We tried a bunch of pressure. This Bridge Street's like a track, man. It would just tire shake the whole way down. It would tire shake. We made like 4 hits and like semis kept going by. I think we went too early. there's a lot of traffic. And so we're like, fuck this, let's load it up. Like they said it's on a virgin street, so we're wasting our time over here. We get to the test spot the next night, and they keep saying it's virgin, it's gonna be virgin. Like the virgin we got is totally different than the virgin they got. Their virgin is like pavilion to us. Like it's got rubber down. That shit got rubber down. So we go to the test spot and there's rubber. And I'm like, I don't think we should test on the rubber. Like I think my shit will go down that, but we should test. If we race this way, there's not much rubber. Like at this spot, they race this way and back this way, and back this way there's less rubber. So like we'll race on that side, and like it was a shit night, dude. We couldn't get the car to go down. We finally got a decent tune-up. I wasn't happy with it at all, and we're like, okay, we'll see what the road is like tomorrow. Who knows what it is? So we get to the road, and it's like a track, dude. And it's narrow. It's a narrow street. It's like in farmland, but like there's a ton of rubber down. So I was like, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit, but I don't want to smoke the tire. But nah, dude, we went out first round. I drove 15 hours. Went out first round, dude. That sucked.
Race?
I raced a twin turbo Supra. They had like a back half car. Like that was throw down. Like it's a badass car. But this
car, right?
thing got drugged, dude. Like I didn't put any power in it. It's a guy with that. He built that orange, like 280Z thing.
Yeah, it's Billy's car.
The Billy's car. Yeah, Billy. That's who it was. Before he had that.
Damn.
And there's some badass guys over there.
Yeah, there's some fast people.
Yeah.
So what's going through your mind when you pull up to the line?
I'm just making sure everything's right. Like making sure the car's straight when I'm backing up. I'm trying to make sure I listen to my guy, but like I'm trying to double check like this fucking car's straight. We're in the groove. I'm pulled up where I need to be, and then just fucking pay attention to the light. Stand that bitch on the chip, let it bang. I don't give a fuck how long it's on the chip. Like I'd rather leave on some nut than leave on nothing.
Yeah.
Like if you're turbo shit, your shit don't leave on target boost. Your maps like after you let go of the button, your whole everything's trying to play catch up, and they'll overshoot, and it just don't like it. So if you leave where it's supposed to, then it's happy. Just let the thing fucking set. I used to have a hard time letting it stay on the 2-step. Like I'm like, oh fuck it, let go, or like quick too early. It's like on 3 pounds. But
Do you have
just pay attention to the light. Pay attention to the flagger.
Do you have any pre-race rituals? Any lucky gloves or something?
No, I don't think so. I'm not like a superstitious person or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure the car's right. Like going over the car, making sure everything's right. It's iced down and shit. Everything's good with the car. But
It's on the air to water info.
yeah, it's an air to water. There's some changes I want to do to it.
We'll go over that at the end.
Yeah.
So how do you manage being able to compete in some of these races, traveling, and you know, work and life?
Dude, it gets hard. Like 90% of my money goes to racing, and I mean, when you win, like you can catch good breaks, but like you got to go to a race expecting not to win, or like you could easily spend your rent money traveling to a race.
Yeah.
I try to pick my races. Right now, I'm building another car, so I'm just trying to stay local with this thing, and where I think I'm competitive. So like I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to go to something I'm gonna get knocked out first round.
Yeah.
But I mean, I work a lot, a lot of hours, dude, at work. My side hustle is like the shop, doing fab work here at the shop, building other cars, saving as much money as I can, not blowing it on bullshit.
Yeah. So what, you know, especially with how expensive the sport is and how typically you're outgunned in a lot of these races, what keeps you motivated?
Like with the street, it's you could roll with the fast guys. Like in a race, like your shit has to go A to B every round. Like if your shit fucks up, like you're gonna go out. Like anybody shit can fuck up. There's a chance no matter who you line up with, something can fuck up. There's a lot of mistakes to be made. So I mean, you always have a chance. Even if your shit's slower than everybody else, you still have a chance of winning. I mean, you just gotta hope for the best and fucking swing at it.
Just gotta hope the guy gets the left lane. No?
Yeah, you put him in the bad lane, win the coin. Bro, depending on the street, half the racing is winning the coin toss and knowing the lanes. You gotta know the lanes and know the street. Look at the street. Watch for bumps and stuff like that. Weird shit in the street. Like
things you look for.
Yeah.
And then after that, you go put a tune-up in it.
Yeah, put a tune-up in it and just throw it down. But testing helps a lot. You gotta test. Try different things. I try and test a lot and try to make changes here and there. Like I'm slower than everybody else, so I gotta work at this thing and make the car faster than what it should be.
So speaking of, you know, telling people to test, do you have any advice for somebody that's barely getting into this?
Yeah, to start off slow, like make the film the car, take videos, watch the tire, watch what the tire's doing, watch what the chassis is doing. Make that stuff happy. You know, make the chassis do what it needs to do. Make the tire not wad up and shit. And like if you just get that down, it already puts you far ahead. When you start applying power to it, then like the chassis is acting right, and you're gonna run into issues where you might have to change shocks and shit like that. But it'll start to get you there. As you apply more power, the car wants different things. So you gotta start with the basics, and you can't throw it. It's shitty. It's harder to throw a bunch of power and then fix it with the chassis. You gotta kind of, if you get there with the both at the same time, work your way up, like with the chassis and the power level, then it helps a lot. Knowing what the street wants, but that a lot of knowing what you gotta go down different streets to know what different streets want. A lot of roads are completely different.
So that goes back into testing.
Yeah, you gotta have like data. When I go to a race and I see a road, like I know like, oh, this street I know the tune-up from this street, and I'm gonna start there and kind of change it a little bit to get it down this other street. And you gotta watch the DA, like you gotta watch where we're at compared to where we go with race. Like it's a totally different thing. Our shit don't make no power here.
Yeah.
we go to good air, and I don't know what to do with it. It just makes too much power.
Yep.
It's an iron block, 6.0. It's bored out. It's forged rod piston. I got a forged crank in it now. Brodix heads. I built these headers. These are the second pair of headers I built. I did all the fab work on it. It's pretty simple. It's just an 85. Electric water pump. I don't know. The turbo's back here. A lot of people don't know where the turbo's at, but it's kind of mid-mounted back here. Has a PT3000 intercooler under the dash. There's kind of a lot of weight in here that could be taken out if we wanted to.
What size is the turbo, Chase?
It's an S491 102 from Force Inductions. It needs out here in our D8. It needs some more turbo on it. It's out of air. It's out of air. These are the new these Hoosier radial deals we're trying out. We just did a stator change in the converter. It's a little looser now, and we're gonna see what it does. Hoping to go to some back of the track stuff here pretty soon, and some real Virgin Street stuff.
What fuel pump's in it?
It's an Air Motive 5-gallon. It actually just died last week, and or 3 weeks ago, and I sent it back to them. They rebuilt it. It's still in warranty, so we're still gonna keep running it. It's been a good pump to me.
Was it hard putting this, LS in the Miata?
They're not too hard to do. You gotta widen the trans tunnel. You gotta cut it out and beat it. There's a lot of like forum kind of information on them. There's for the companies that sell the swap kits for them. I have their swap kit K member, but without the mounts because it's motor plated, so I didn't do that. It's like they sell a lot of stuff that's just bolt in, but the biggest thing you gotta do is widen the firewall and weld all that back together. They're pretty simple to do. These cars are like, if you keep this thing like factory interior and shit, and where you can still cruise it around with the LS, they sell for good money, man. They sell for like 35, 40 G's. I'll get like a 90 Miata like that. That's crazy. Like there's a market for them.
So what are your future plans with the car?
Well, right now I just did that converter change. We swapped the stator, loosened up a little bit. I'm trying not to mess with it too much right now while I'm building. I'm trying to focus all my funds to the Corvette at the moment. But I want to. I kind of want to put on methanol and ditch the intercooler. Put an aluminum block in it, like a sleeve 5.3 or something. Get some weight up the front. Move the turbo to the front. Move the radiator to the back, and kind of just make it work better on the street. And move some weight, take some weight out.
Do you think it's harder having the turbo in the back? Or why do you want to move it?
Just because if I put an aluminum block in it and move the turbo up here, I think it'll kind of balance itself out. I like the turbo in the back. It's just the charge pack all the way back there. I just wanted to simplify everything, get it up front.
Do you think they lose boost when the charge packs are so long?
I don't think so. A lot of people are like, oh, they're too long. It gets way back there. But you watch like a lot of guys are there to waters. They have them mounted inside the car, and they have that running back in. They hit the firewall all the way back out, and I think mine's shorter than some of those setups that run in and out of the car. So we're at high elevation. It spools pretty fast. I mean, it'll build 10 pounds in 4 seconds. But it does have a bunch of timing knocked out to do that. When it goes to sea level, it spools instantly. Like it's like right there. It's crazy how fast it does it.
So you said you're building a Corvette. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah. I bought a C6 last year. Just the shell, pretty much, and the title and the VIN. This thing, it's not competitive to where I want to be. I want to go to like the fast, go to the Midwest, go to the real street stuff. We're not competitive with this thing. I need something with more chassis, a little more power, and it's gonna be a lot lighter than the Miata. This thing, this iron block and Stark IRS, it's about 3,000 pounds where we race it at. I think we can make the Corvette a lot lighter than that.
Is it gonna be full tube chassis, or what's gonna be the setup on that?
It's gonna be like a 3/4 chassis. It's gonna be a stock front suspension, and then pretty much from there, from the firewall back, it's all gonna be tube. 4-link, solid axle. I have some parts for it. I'm just collecting parts right now. But it's gonna be kind of as light as possible. Twin turbo LS deal in it.
All aluminum LS.
Yeah, I think for now I'm just gonna put a sleeve 5.3. I want to do like a 388 or a 427. I mean, I think if it makes 1,400, it's gonna be plenty enough to get the car kind of lined out and to be able to go rounds on the street. And then eventually probably I want to do like a dark aluminum deal eventually. But
Like a nice motor.
Yeah, like something that can make like 2,000 plus one day. It's expensive.
And you're building all that stuff for it too, right?
Yeah, I'm building the whole chassis, everything pretty much. My dad painted this. He's gonna probably paint that too. But mostly everything I try to do on my own, except like the engine work, the machining, and like the assembling of the short block. I'd rather not mess with that.
Yeah. Are you painting it white again too, the vet?
No, the vet's not gonna be white. I don't know what color it's gonna be yet, but it's not gonna be white.
Okay.
I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see. But we'll at least be on the right size tire. We'll be on a. it might fit a 29.5, but I think I'm gonna be on 28s, even if we go to 29.5 stuff. I don't think we need the 29.5, but we'll see. I've never been on it, so we'll try it and see what it does.
Shit, if you can fit it, I'd try it. Do you have any sponsors or anybody you want to thank that helps you with the program?
Look, just the homies. Everybody helps me out, dude. My brother-in-law said, like, he's like the reason I kind of got into cars, like into the racing and stuff. That dude Nick Ray, yeah, he got me into the fab work. Jerry Porsche, like, he taught me a ton of stuff about street racing and all like the automatic and the turbo stuff. Sean at Solitech, he taught me a ton. He's helped me a bunch. Just Dyno Edge, Solitech, those guys have taught me a lot, and those guys are infinite knowledge on a lot of stuff. Thank y'all for watching. Salam.